Hello! Today I thought I'd talk about 3 films. I suppose I'll start with Hope Springs, which is a film which is out and out at the cinema, which is about a couple who have sort of got into a bit of a routine in their relationship. It's been like 5 years since they had sex, and every morning they have the same breakfast, and then there's work, and then they come home and they watch TV, and that's just about it. It's always the same. And the wife decides that she'd like more intimacy in her marriage, not just about sex, but just like being told she's attractive, or hugging, or anything in general. Not just, she said at one point she felt like she had a relationship with a TV channel as opposed to with her husband, given their routine situation. So they went on this marriage counselling thing. I think this is a film that everyone should watch, really. Not just if they're having a relationship of that nature, but I think it's got a good lesson to teach anyone about keeping communication with people you know and people you're having relationships with, so that you both know what you want from the relationship, and you can talk about what you want or things like that, because in their relationship, basically, they had not been discussing things, and that was a problem for them. The next film I'm going to mention is Premium Rush, which I saw today, which is about a messenger person who rides around on a bike delivering parcels, in a sort of local sort of way, getting a parcel quickly from one place to another. I saw a review of this in the paper, and the review said that it was a bad film because all it's about is someone on a bike. But I disagree. I think there's other storylines to it that there was, like what the parcel was, and it wasn't just about one person on a bike. He also had relationships with other people who were messengers and communicated via his hands-free, and it wasn't just him on a bike. Even if it was just him on a bike, there have been films in the past that are set in one location, like the film Buried, which was a person buried in a box, and most of that film centred around him in a box. But this film is not like that. There is loads of locations, as with the nature of moving on a bike, you don't stay still. And there was lots of tricks and things as well in the film, like having to go downstairs or having to avoid car crashes and knowing what will happen, and going over cars and things like that, all sorts of things, as came with the package being quite dangerous for him to carry, and getting in trouble as a consequence of having that package on him, and people wanting to take it from him, which is the nature of this film. So I thought it was a good film. It made me want to own a bike. Bikes are expensive. What was the other film I saw? I saw Untouchable at the cinema, which is a French film. It was quite funny, actually, because when we went in, we were told a few times it's French, it's all going to be subtitled, it's not going to be in English, you're going to have to read. And we found that quite amusing. They would think that, they'd make it such a point of telling us as if it was highly probable that people would go who can't read or something. That they needed to mention it several times. And then when we went in, for like 20 minutes there was notice on the screen. Before even the trailers or commercials, for ages there was notice on the screen. And we were sitting there thinking, maybe they don't think we can read, we need to see this notice for so long just to take it in. And then this guy came into the cinema, and he walked past the stairs, past all the chairs, and he's just walking in confidently with a woman behind him. He was just walking really confidently in, and he walked straight into a wall and bounced off because he was walking so fast. He just sort of bounced off the wall again. It was really amusing given the circumstances. And then after he did that, one of the first commercials to come up was to tell us that the cinema had audio description and subtitled facilities if necessary. So it was really coming in. But yeah, the film Untouchable was a really good film. Anyway, the film was about a man who is basically completely paralysed. He doesn't have any use of his arms or legs. He can't feel anything from his arms or legs, and so he needs a carer all the time to do things for him, like wash him or feed him. He sits in a wheelchair. Sometimes he moves himself around using like a mouth joystick thing, but not all the time. So he needs a carer basically 24/7 to be there for him, to do things for him. But most of the carers in the past that he's had have treated him a bit like a job or a medical thing they've learnt, as opposed to a human being in a chair. And he hires a young offender instead at the beginning of the film, and it works out quite well for him. They do things, because the young offender isn't trained at all medically. He sees it in a completely different way, and it was quite funny because instead of instantly thinking of him as a man in a chair, sometimes the boy who is looking after him forgets that the man can't move his arms or legs and tries to pass things to him and stuff, or does things as a joke, basically brightening up his life in different ways. And in return, the man, being older, has things that he can teach the boy. I say boy, he was probably like 25 or something, I don't know. Teach him things about art and music and things like that, and getting out there and doing things, as opposed to the delinquent lifestyle he had been leading before with the crimes. Yeah, but I thought they were all good films this time. So that's about it. Goodbye.